Good day, everyone. Welcome back to another, Fireside Chat with Mayor Jeff Genung. I'm coming to you today from the Ranch House, and we're not sitting in the comfy chairs because, you'll probably hear some background noise. The facility staff here at the Ranch House and the Hall of Vision here in particular are setting up for this week's Mid-Sized Cities Mayors and CAO Caucus that we are hosting. Super excited about that. We're going to have all of the party leaders, the provincial party leaders, Stephen Mandel, David Kahn, and Premier Notley and Jason Kenney, the UCP leader, all speaking at the caucus this week. So stay tuned. We're going to have some special guests right here this week sitting by the fire, and I will be moderating and interviewing each of them and asking them questions on behalf of the mid-sized cities mayors and CAOs. So it's the group of 22 municipalities across Alberta, including Cochrane. You have to be 15,000 or so people or more, but not be Calgary or Edmonton to be a part of the mid-sized cities Mayor's Caucus. So super excited about that. We talked about getting Cochrane on the map provincially and raising our status and the awareness of our municipality in our province with provincial leaders. This was an opportunity that we saw that we could take to do just that. And so very proud and happy and actually nervous this week to be interviewing the Premier and Jason Kenney and David Kahn and Stephen Mandel. So I've also got the Minister of Municipal Affairs speaking at a reception one of the evenings. So we're going to be grilling all of those leaders with questions from that affect all of our communities. Not to withhold things like, and I'm sure if I were to go out on the streets of Cochrane and ask, what is it that you would have me ask a leader, and I'm sure that almost every single person would say, what's going to happen with our intersection if given the provincial election coming up. So, of course, that will be on the agenda coming up, and I'll be reporting back and probably have some things to, some clips of video to show and have up on Facebook and the town website after this week. So that is why we're here and we're standing at this podium and not in the comfy chairs by the fire. So without further ado, let's get right into last night's council meeting, January 28th. We called the meeting to order and immediately recessed and went into two public hearings. The public hearings were about Sunset Ridge Phase 2, Area Structure Plan and Neighborhood Plan, and also, what was the other one? Land use bylaw amendment for fitness studios, and recreation vehicle parking. So those were the two public hearings. We had a couple of people speak. We had the developer speak on behalf of the area structure plan and neighborhood plan for Sunset Ridge, and also the Sunset Ridge Community Association had some words for council. After that, we went right into the council meeting, and we had two delegations. The first delegation was the Parks and Recreation Committee, and this is a council committee that we've struck last year, so they've had, I think, almost a full year under their belt now, getting used to their role. They were at council last night asking for our approval of their work plan for 2019, which included off-leash putting off-leash dog parks in existing neighborhoods. What would the criteria be? So we're not asking them to where they were going to go. This is more specifics on what's the outline of criteria needed if we were to, for example, put a off-leash dog park in a existing neighborhood. So that's one of the things. Second of all, they're looking at the quarter section north on Horse Creek Road, where we are trying to get our annexation finalized. There's a master plan being developed this spring for outdoor recreation. So the Parks and Rec Committee will be looking at exactly, in concert with administration, what sorts of sports fields and buildings would we have there. They'll be helping with that. And also they're looking at whether or not Cochrane is in position to host, say, a winter games or summer games. So that's exciting. And of course, any other work that will be coming their way as we progress through the year. So Council did endorse the work plan by the Parks and Rec Committee, and then we moved into the second delegation, which was the Cochrane FCSS Advisory Board and United Way together came up with funding recommendations for Council in the amount of $120,000. I think I have written down here. My notes, I always keep notes at every meeting. $120,000. I think just under $200,000 was asked for, and specifically this is for programs that FCSS and the United Way look at all of the funding that has been requested, and then they decide as a board where it goes, and Council last night endorsed their recommendation. So that was thank you to all of the work that's been done by the FCSS Advisory Board and the United Way. Then we moved into bylaws. We had the bylaw 36 was the redesignation of, here we go, land use bylaw amendment redesignation for Heartland. Basically, I think I talked about this last time, it was the landowner is looking to move a parcel of land in Heartland that is vacant right now. It's kind of in the center of Heartland. It was zoned RM, which is a higher density, and they were asking to go to a lower density of R2, which would allow them to build units that are similar to what's in the surrounding area already. So Council and CPC and everybody was in support of that. So that went through. Then we moved into first reading on a bylaw, which was bylaw 05-2019, which was 354 Railway Street is requesting to have a car wash there. There's the lube shop, and there was a vacancy at the end of the lube shop where I think there was a muffler repair business originally, and now they're asking if we could change the land use bylaw to allow for a car wash there. So that was first reading, so that was basically putting it on the floor. We set a public hearing. You can give your feedback, or people affected or businesses affected can give feedback, and then Council will come back and decide on second reading. So that was that. Next, very important item, we have the new bridge naming. So Council, I don't know if you're aware, but we've been going through this public process of naming our new bridge. The bridge going from the, well, I don't know if I have to tell everybody where the new bridge is, but the new bridge, you can see it starting to come out of the water down by the rec center, the Spray Lakes Family Sports Center. And so that bridge we're asking the public to name. So the first phase was everybody went online and submitted names. We had public engagement pieces were around town over the past summer where people could make suggestions for names, and then we put all those names online and everybody could go online and vote. So we have amassed all of the top names, and we were going to come out with the top 10. The 10th one was tied, so we actually have 11 names that we're going out to back out to you, the public, so that you can go online and vote for your one favorite name for the bridge. So excited to see where that is going to lead us and what the bridge name will actually ultimately be. So the one caveat is the winning name after the end of February, we're going to cut off the voting somewhere in there. We're going to allow 30 days for voting. And when that is complete, we're going to take that winning name and make sure that we consult with whomever the name may be. If it's after a family or after, say, an Indigenous name, we would consult with our neighbors, Stonies, and see if we can make sure that that name is appropriate, or if the family or etc. is willing to have that name on our bridge. So of course we'll do that before we actually release the name, and then make sure that that is the name. So that will be wrapping up this spring, so super excited about that. And that was the bridge naming. And basically it was a light agenda last night. This is all I had for paperwork, and that was that. So Other than that, my mind is completely focused on hosting these party leaders this week. Stay tuned, as I said at the beginning of the chat, about some footage coming out of that. We're going to have a videographer here and videoing the entire thing so that we're going to post it on our YouTube channel, so that if you're interested to see how it went and see what questions were asked of these leaders and what they answered, and how, basically our next premier will be right where I am right now, later this week, talking to me and other mayors from surrounding communities. So thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.